Update for 4013 West 62nd Street.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to go ahead and call Officer Baum to the podium, and she'll be providing the update.
Okay. Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, I'm CSO Jamie Baum, address 5252 Belinda. And I am going to provide you with the update from the house at 4013 West 62nd Street today. On December 11th, today, myself, Chief Thurlow, and City Administrator Nogelmeyer re-inspected the structure at the property. I observed the homeowner had disposed of some trash in the living room, dining room, and 2 bedrooms. The owner hired a plumber to fix a leak in the upstairs toilet and removed the canine urine-soaked clothing from the bathroom floor. Outside of the trash removed from the property, the status of the living room, dining room, and 2 bedrooms, kitchen, garage, and bathroom remained the same. The property owner informed me that they had not commenced any cleanup of the basement, as the company they are hiring will be cleaning the basement out. So the basement is in the same status as my previous report. The homeowner hired a lawn crew to mow the backyard and remove volunteer trees. A few minor issues like light switches and outlet covers were noticed, as well as flooring in the back bedroom needing addressed from significant damage.
I'm going to pull up the
Do you have
photos
anything
here.
that you'd like to
Yeah,
add?
I'll pull up the photos and then let
Okay.
Officer Baum walk through those.
Okay, so this is the living room area. Some significant trash has been removed out of here. The flooring is more clear now. And if we keep going down, yeah, you can see more flooring than the previous pictures upon our first visit to the home. This is the dining room. It's serving as a 3rd bedroom. And the floor in that area was viewable for the most part, but more trash has been removed from that area. This is the bathroom where the leak on the toilet has been fixed and it has been cleaned somewhat. The peeling wallpaper and the ceiling remain the same. And additionally, we did notice a window. I believe it's one picture down. Yeah, is not closing all the way. This is the main bedroom. A significant portion of the trash that was on the ground has been removed, which has shown the area there on the ground that has the damage to the hardwood floor. There's another, yeah. You can see the damage better in that picture. That is a light switch outlet that does not have a cover. This is a secondary bedroom. We were not able to view this bedroom upon our first visit to the home, but I was able to view this bedroom on a secondary visit to the home, and this is significant improvement regarding trash. However, if we continue scrolling down, there is some trash still on the sides of the bed, and also some exposed wires and an outlet that needs to be fixed as well, or the switch. This kitchen area, not a significant change in the kitchen area. There's still the exposed subfloor, as well as a lot of trash in general, and still evidence of a rodent infestation. Those are outlets that need covers, and just more of the kitchen. And that's another outlet, and the door to the garage still does not latch, so that tote is in place so that nothing can get in from the garage. The garage, and it is still roughly about the same. And that is the subfloor that you can see partially there going in from the garage. This is the basement. We did discover 2 stairs at the bottom of the basement are broken and loose. So that's a picture on the left there. And then, as I stated, nothing in the basement has changed as the foundation repair company that is going to be coming in and fixing the foundation in the basement stated that they are going to remove everything from the basement. The washing machine has been drained, though. And that is the ceiling in the bathroom down there. And that's it.
Mayor, at this time, we're happy to stand for questions for staff from the governing body.
All right, council? And do you have any questions of staff at this time?
Yes, Jamie.
Jenna?
Yes, Jenna, Ward 4. It looks like, can you estimate that how many hours have been spent already doing some of the cleanup?
I don't think I could estimate, but I do know that the homeowner and her adult son call me pretty regularly to go over to the house and do cleanup. I'm sure with their schedules, they're kind of busy, and so they go over when they can. But I do hear from them at least once a week, if not multiple times a week, that they're heading over there and working on it.
And they've been able to get access every time?
Yes, they have the key. We don't have a copy of the key. They're able to enter the house. They just have to notify me first because of the condemnation.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council?
Thanks, Jamie. So I just,
David?
David Watkins, Ward 3, just to confirm, based on the condition, excuse me, the premise of your, or the conclusion of your original report remains unchanged yet? Not enough has been done yet to remedy the conditions?
No, unfortunately, at this time, the building itself still isn't on the foundation wall, and there is still the issue of the black mold.
Thank you.
Another question.
Jenna?
Jenna Brofsky, Ward 4. How long would it take to remove the mold? Is that a process that takes some period of time?
So, from my understanding, we chatted a little bit with the owner today, and once the foundation is fixed, which should only take a couple days, they have to give it a few months for it to, the house to settle, before they really go in and do anything else significant. After that, I could not give you an estimation on the mold, but I know that Nathan has dealt with mold remedying before, and he might be able to know.
It's less than a week. I mean, 3 to 4 days maybe, depending on, I mean, just from what we can see visibly downstairs in the basement, the leak from the main floor to the basement was going on for a while. So what we can visibly see is going to be a couple of days. It's what we maybe can't see right now is, I can't answer that, but we're not talking an extended amount of time.
Okay, but none of that can happen until the foundation gets repaired?
So the mold remediation probably can begin, but the problem is we require a certificate from the remediation company that says the mold has been removed. And until they can sort of close up the structure, they're not going to be able to provide that certificate, because once they remove the mold, at least the visible mold, and they'll bring in air scrubbers and dehumidifiers, they'll have to retest to make sure there's no mold in the mold levels are within an acceptable range. And of course, no mold company is going to certify that the job is complete when there's still visible gaps in the foundation to the outside, just because obviously there's mold everywhere. So they need to make sure that the house is sealed up before they can provide that certification. But they would be able to go in and remove a bulk of the mold, and in fact, it may be possible, depending on who is actually brought in to remove the mold, they may, the foundation crews may not want to come in and do any foundation work until the mold is removed.
So there are some prerequisites maybe that need to take place before we can get that certificate, although the actual removal probably won't take that long?
Based on just the visible mold, yes, it wouldn't take that long.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Any other questions from council? Okay. I would ask that the property owner or an agent come to the mic for comments. Please identify yourself and your address.
Will it stay on? Sherry Halverson, 4013 West 62nd Street, Fairway, Kansas.
Are there comments, Sherry, that you would like to make?
The repairs are starting next week. The permits have been asked for. I don't know if they've been signed yet. And then after those are done and the house is on the foundation and they clean the basement out, then we can start doing the floors and having someone come in and clean the kitchen. And then eventually we'll be able to have new doors hung when the house has stopped settling. But they did determine there'll be some time, since it's having to come up a significant amount, that it would be counterproductive to hang new doors right now and do some of the painting and some of that stuff, because we may see more cracks as the house comes back into place.
Okay.
So it's all in the works. It's just going to take a little bit longer than we expected.
All right. Nathan?
Mayor, I can speak to Mrs. Halverson McMillan and her son, along with the chief, and Jamie and I had a lengthy conversation today, and I can kind of go over that conversation as well as next steps moving forward once the council has had a chance to ask any questions of Ms. Halverson McMillan.
Okay, that would be helpful. Council, are there any questions for the property owner? Jenna?
Hi, Jenna, Ward
Jenna.
4. Just tell us, do you want to stay in your home?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else? And Sherry, I want you to know, we understand that you want to stay in your home. And that is the wish of the governing body also. We would like for you to be able to stay in your home.
Thank you.
And this is a process, unfortunately, that we have to go through, but staff and the council, as they can, will help you through those steps. And that's part of what we're going to accomplish this evening.
Okay.
All right, Nathan?
As Mrs. Halverson McMillan stated, there was we do have a permit application in-house. We had a foundation repair company submit a permit application, and we've been working with them to sort of modify it just based on our conversation. Initially, there was an understanding that they may potentially be taking care of the mold. The company itself is not licensed to take care of mold, though there are employees of the company that we've been told are. So we're waiting for those credentials to come in. If they don't, then the owner will need to find an alternate opportunity or way to remove the mold. But Basel earlier today gave the green light for the building permit to be issued for the foundation work only. This company will also be doing some of the restoration work on the subfloors that need to be redone on the main floor. But that will be a separate permit, and there's a lot of reasons why we're wanting to do it as a separate permit. One is to be able to save the owner some money in permit fees, as well as just to have a different look at what they're doing with the subfloors compared to tying it all in with one building permit. So it's our understanding that the foundation repair folks are scheduled to start work on the 18th, a week from today. And they've reported to the Halversons that the work shall only be a few days to get that repaired. But as the owner has indicated, they need to allow for potentially up to 2 months after the foundation work has been repaired or made, so that if there is any additional settling on the repairs before they would go in and hang new doors, particularly the front door and the garage door, the ones that would require to be secured as a part of the reentry for the owners to take over occupancy. So today, when we met out there, we went over the list that we had previously gone over some weeks ago when the owner met with Jamie and Basil and I upstairs here at City Hall. We went through a very detailed list put together by Jamie and provided that to the owner then, and then we went over everything today, just making sure that the end goal here, as the owner has stated, is to move back into the home, and as Mayor, as you said, that's the city's goal as well, knowing that that's what the owner chooses to do. So there is a significant amount of work that needs to be done. However, today when we met out there, I went over all of the pieces of the resolution that is before the governing body this evening. So in terms of the requirement that work would need to start within or commence within the next 45 days, which again, it sounds like they're ready to pull the permit and get the work going next week, so that issue is a non-issue really. But then that would start a 6-month clock from the day the permit is issued, in which all of the work, even the non-permitted work, would need to be complete on the property in order for them to receive a certificate of occupancy. So now in the resolution, as we discussed at the last Administration and Finance Committee meeting, there is some flexibility in there. It's not an absolute that if they're not done within 6 months, there is some flexibility that if staff believes that they are close or the work is continuing, I believe the statute language is diligently pursue the same. As long as that is occurring, then staff would continue to work with the owner in order for them to gain reoccupancy to the house. So all of that was discussed today at length with the owner and her son at the property. And so I think, from where staff sits right now, given the momentum of getting the foundation crew out there, that's a great first step. And then as we continue over the next several months, some of these pieces are going to be worked on in tandem as far as getting the rest of the pieces ready to go. There may be some pieces that are going to have to wait toward the end of the 6-month period, but others can probably start to get going a little bit sooner, particularly the cleanup and maybe some other items inside the home. So I think the Halversons have laid out a good plan to get going on this. They understand that it is more than just the foundation work that needs to be done, but that we need to look at the property holistically to make sure that it is ready for reoccupancy in the coming months. And I think, as we discussed today, they also have a good understanding of the potential consequences if they do not meet the expectations laid out in the ordinance or in the resolution, specifically getting started within the next 45 days, and that is defined as pulling the permit. And then completing any work within 6 months of the date of the issuance of the permit. So I think I'm happy to answer any other questions from the governing body, but from the conversations that we've had today, I think the owners know the significance of the situation and what needs to be done, and staff will continue to work with them as best we can to provide any assistance that we can in terms of them meeting their goals of getting back in the home, with the understanding that we also have to make sure that these items are taken care of in a safe and timely manner, and if they aren't done, then we'd have to look at our other options as provided in the resolution, including the potential of raising the home.
Okay. Thank you, Nathan. I was going to specifically go over each of those items in the
Sure.
resolution, but since you've done that, I will dispense with that.
Okay.
But before we move on, though, I would like to ask Sherry, are there any questions that you have of us before we start asking you questions?
No, I
Do
don't.
you understand the timeline, and do you understand each of the items that Nathan reviewed with you today?
Yes,
Okay, and you have no questions concerning those?
no, I guess I have to find a new person to do the mold because they didn't approve that person.
Okay,
I thought it was going to be a one and done.
well, sometimes things don't work that way. The laws that the city has to follow are very specific about who can be accepted to do the work and to clear the issues. So staff will work with you we can't choose someone for you.
I've
But-
been way clear of that.
Yeah, but, can we provide them with lists of people? All
We
right,
can-
we would be happy to do that.
Yeah.
And then, but the choice is yours, but we can provide you with lists of people to find someone.
Thank you.
Any other questions that you have?
No.
Okay. All right, are there any questions from council for the property owner? David?
David Watkins, Ward 3, not really for the property, but I just want to clarify, they're already pulling permits. They don't have to have every permit pulled in 45 days, correct? Because there could be some that are later, given your description of conditions precedent for job 2
Sure.
is contingent on, so it's not like we have to have all 45 pulled in, all permits pulled within 45 days.
Correct. It just starts the window, once the first permit is issued, then they have 6 months to complete all the work. So
okay.
they may pull another permit 2 months from now, but that work would still need to be done within the 6-month timeframe. But I would say this, aside from the foundation, now that we know, or that we believe most of the plumbing issues have been resolved, and that was work that did not require a permit, the plumbing work that has been done to date. In the event that as we continue to sort of peel back the layers of the onion, so to speak, just like we discovered today, there was more damage to the wood floors in the primary bedroom. That is work that will be added on, but we already know there'll be a separate permit coming for that work. But really beyond that, when we look at the list, most of the work is not going to require a permit, and most of it is going to be cosmetic.
Great, and this is probably stating the obvious and it's assumption, but we don't, want in a situation like this, as additional items are determined that are in need of work to become code compliant, we will be updating, quote unquote, updating the list and providing it to the homeowner so she knows exactly what needs to be done so she can get back in the house, right?
Correct, yeah, so as soon as, just like today, today was the first time we'd been back in the house in several weeks, but because the condition of the home had changed, meaning that things appeared more organized, and we could see more of the actual home itself, we identified the floor. Now, that is not hopefully not a significant extra piece that we identified, but as those items come up, we will have a number of inspections in the home for the foundation work. And then, really once the mold remediation is done and the rest of the work can begin to restore the property, I would anticipate that's when we're likely going to see the other stuff sort of appear. But based on everything that we've seen now, that we can see, most of the work beyond the foundation and the wood and the subflooring work that needs to be done, most of it is non-structural. So it wouldn't require a permit.
Does anyone else? Yes. Kellyanne?
Kellyanne Busick, Ward 1. I want to thank you for already starting to make a dent in what's going on, and to reiterate what the mayor said, we want to work with you. We want you to be in your home. That's our goal. That's everyone here. That's our main goal, and thank you for coming. I really appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Jenna?
Yes, one more. Jenna Brofsky, Ward 4. Any ways that we can support you? I know you're meeting regularly with Jamie and Nathan, but anything else you can think of where the city can help?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we're still living in an extended stay until the foreseeable future.
Any other
Thank you.
questions from council? All right. Sherry, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I will open the hearing for public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to comment on this hearing? All right, seeing none, I'll close public comment. And finally, we will consider Resolution 2023G, a resolution declaring the structure located at 4013 West 62nd Street Fairway, Kansas, to be unsafe and dangerous and ordering repairs or demolition pursuant to KSA 12-1750 and Section 108 of the International Property Maintenance Code, 2000 edition, as incorporated by reference with certain changes in Section 6-52 to 6-56 of the Fairway City Code. Council, is there any discussion regarding this resolution? Jenna?
Jenna Brafsky, Ward 4. Nathan, I see there's, maybe it's for Rich, but when we're talking about proceeding to raise the home pursuant to the statute, is there a notice period that we'd have to give the homeowners? Because there's no language about that in the resolution itself.
This is Rich. I'd have to check the statute to be sure, but I'd be certain that there's going to be a notice provision and due process requirements are going to be a part of the decision to raise.
And in terms of discussion, I still am not, I would like the council to be a part of that if we were to ever get to that. And I think the resolution delegates it to staff, who I trust wholeheartedly, but I still think the council should be a part of that.
When you say that, what do you mean?
Any determination that the house is to be raised if in fact the 6 months has run and the work hasn't been done and we get to that point, which I don't think we will, but if we do, I'd like us to be a part of it, and that's not currently in the resolution.
All right, any other discussion or comments, questions from council? Rich, is there a reason that that was not included, that the resolution was written that way?
Mayor, I can speak to that, actually.
Okay,
Just-
Nathan?
That was the direction we left the Administration and Finance Committee meeting with, was that it was to create as an efficient of process as possible. And so we discussed at the Administration and Finance Committee meeting that it was all going to be laid out in a singular resolution to provide the clarity to both staff and to the owner on the process that we would be following. So that was specifically a result of the discussion at the Administration and Finance Committee, that there would not be a need for a second resolution of the governing body if after either the 45-day window to commence work or the 6-month window to complete work was not accomplished, that staff could use its discretion in determining whether or not we needed to go back before council or if we should move forward with raising the structure.
And I apologize to staff. I do recall that conversation. And part of that was due to our prior experiences and the length of time that we're involved with those experiences. We want to avoid that in this situation so that the homeowner can return to their home as soon as possible.
And I agree, that was definitely discussed at the meeting. I think I expressed some concern and others did, and I think we'll soon have 2 new council members, and I don't know what they feel on the issue.
Well, this is being taken care of. They have not yet been sworn in. So I will tell you this, Jenna, that staff, and I have worked with them now for 15 years, staff is not going to make that move without talking to the mayor.
I believe that to be true too. I think it's important that in something so serious, we have as many opportunities to make sure that we're fair and just have more voices involved. I trust the staff. It's not about that. It's just, again, having as many people as we can in the process.
Right, but what I'm saying to you is that it will not be their sole decision. Okay, anyone else? All right, is there a motion concerning the resolution?
I move to approve Resolution 2023G.
Is there a second?
Second?
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve Resolution 2023G. Any further discussion by council? All right, all those in favor, aye. Opposed, no?
No.
All right, there are 2 no, Nathan?
Yep.
5 yes. The resolution passes. The hearing is adjourned. All right, we will